Yo, y'all listening to Savage Media Radio, your number one source for underrated and non-viral topics, discussions, and news from the web and around the world. Think you can handle that much truth? Buckle up, bruh. It's about to get savage.
Savage, that's right, baby. We back. Ooh. It's the week 112, y'all. We here. No, I'm just kidding.
Is it really? Yeah, is it really 112? I was going to say,
no,
whoa.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
I
It
wish.
took you 2 weeks to make 1 year, Doug. Come on. We be 2 years in. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, guys?
Same thing.
It's
Hustling.
Wednesday.
As always.
It's What's Up Wednesdays. Listen, I hope you guys have been ready since 8 o'clock, tuning in ready, because today's it's a special day. We got some shit we ready to talk about. It's going to be straight savage up in here. So if you're listening for the first time, you might have to go back and listen to some of our other podcasts to, really get an understanding of who we are. But, we passionate about some shit and we want to talk about it. We definitely do. So this is a great episode to listen to, but, listen to some other ones if you haven't listened to us before. Anything exciting new this week, guys, before we get kicking?
Ooh, can I start?
Oh, yes. Go ahead, girl.
So remember how last week on Free Yourself, I was bitching about not being able to get a job because I'm a business owner? Well,
Because you're too qualified. Go ahead.
Exactly. Well, I actually got a third job.
Whoop, whoop.
So I got hired at a job yesterday. So now I can wipe the sweat off my brow now. So
Get ready to get that house, baby. We coming
Yes.
for you, real estate land. So get ready, because Courtney buying a house, baby.
I know.
Yeah, awesome news. Awesome
Thank
news,
you.
Courtney. I love it. Yeah. Anybody else? I got something, but I'm going to wait till the end before we kick off and move on.
Well, I guess, go ahead. Go, Carlos.
This week it's springtime and summertime, and they are booking the black folks. I had three bookings this week. They are booking the black folks for real.
Yes, my point.
So I'm excited. I did really good this week, but as per usual with modeling and acting and commercials, you don't get the money until 90 days later, so you really can't celebrate your day's work or your couple days work.
Right.
But I'm excited for 3 months from now when I get that good check.
Hello.
Come on. But no, I've just been focusing on getting everything back in order. My uncle got 2 jobs now, so he really isn't here that much. So that's been cool. And he has a girlfriend.
Already?
So, yeah.
What?
Come on,
He has
Uncle.
2. No, Uncle's an old school Detroit player. He has 2 girlfriends. One has a car and one has a house.
Ooh, you
So-
just called him out just now?
He's a Detroit player. I love it.
Listen, of course,
Right.
nobody tells you to play it, don't play it.
What did
tell
you
them both.
call him
What's
before? What's his nickname? It's Feely. What's his nickname?
Uncle Fiki.
Fiki.
It's Uncle Fiki. Uncle Fiki. Yeah, so Uncle Fiki works at Trader Joe's and at Dollar Tree, and he's getting another 3rd job at McDonald's. He actually has an interview tomorrow, so he's been paying. And my
God
life
bless
has been a little bit
Uncle
nice.
Fiki.
I know,
Yes.
right?
Shout out
So
to
he's
Uncle.
getting prepared. He's getting prepared
He-
because I'm leaving him here.
He's gonna fucking own the Space Needle in a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Uncle Fiki.
Right?
going
No, I'm leaving him here in November when we move to LA. So we're trying to get him set up in his own
Self-sufficient.
little place.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he's never had an apartment of his own or anything. So I'm really just trying to make
Carlos.
sure he's set.
Carlos,
What?
can I pinpoint how you said, Uncle's never really here anymore, so that's good. I love how you started your sentence off.
He's not in the back making barbecue.
I was like, what?
No, because the last couple of weeks it's just been me. It's just been me yelling at him about doing shit while I'm
Gotcha.
trying to work. I'm trying to work. But
I was
no.
like, did no one else notice that? You guys just glazed over that, but okay.
That's family business.
Yes, when you live with I've never lived with a family member. I'm so happy.
My whole
when they're
life,
not in
because that's my
house.
story. Go ahead, tell me,
When
Carlos.
you're not in Coco, you live with your whole family, don't you?
Yes.
Aren't you happy when you come home and nobody's home?
I mean, sometimes it is it's a relief only because then you don't got to worry about what to cook. You just I get to pig out on whatever food I want, and it's kind of refreshing. But I do miss the company though, so I'm not at that point yet.
I'm alone.
Listen,
I'm alone.
listen.
But my week's been good. My week's been good.
That's right, Carlos. Let's go. Come on, Doug. Tell them what it is.
Let's see here. Had a great time on the Worst of the Worst podcast. It was freaking great. Thank you to Courtney and thank you to Troy for stepping in.
Awesome.
Very much looking forward to the next movie. Do you want the movie voice?
Yes, we have to.
Do you want the movie voice? Courtney, do you want the movie voice?
And it's not a
Yes.
recording. Listen,
I
guys,
vote
it's not a
yes.
recording.
Okay.
This is live. Go ahead.
Here we go. I'm going to dive in.
A teenage vigilante seeks revenge on a group of violent thugs who raped her handicapped sister and killed her best friend. Savage Streets, starring Linda Blair, John Vernon, and Robert Dreyer. There you go.
Doug,
That's
I
the
just saw the picture for this. This
Yeah.
is white as fuck.
Dude,
Like,
hey,
why
there-
is there any
there-
black people?
There's
in the cast?
one black girl in there. There's one.
Is
There's
she
one
a
fitness with the
prostitute?
white movies. I
She's not a
swear.
prostitute. She's not a prostitute, but she's one of the main principal extras. She's not a
Oh.
prostitute.
Main principal
extra.
extras.
That's
Okay.
not even a thing.
She got paid just a little bit above the real
That's not
extras.
a
Go ahead.
thing. I didn't say that. A principal and an extra are two different things.
She
Well,
looks
she's just
pretty
an extra.
good. She looks pretty. She's got a couple lines. She's got a couple lines.
Here's
Hey
the
man,
coffee, sir.
it's
That's
you
a
gotta,
feature.
No,
That's a featured
no.
extra. She's a
They
featured
let her
extra.
mix it up. They let her mix it up with the white folks. You know, it's good. It's good.
I'm gonna watch. This bitch has a bow and arrow. I'm gonna watch this tonight.
Good. There you go. That's what's going on. And then the last thing is, remember before I was telling you my little one was had her birthday party, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
the official birthday party is this Saturday, and there's going to be 15 10-year-olds that I'm taking to Santa Monica Pier. You know where the arches
15.
are. 15 screaming.
By yourself?
No way! I got
Oh.
reinforcement.
Oh, look
I
at
need my
Super
butt.
Dad.
Are you
Oh, okay.
kidding? But then, guess what? It's going to turn into a slumber party after that. So pray for me now, Troy Weeks. Pray for me.
I got the big emoji eyes right now looking at you. I hope they have another house in the back. I hope you got a pool house or something where they can be on the other side. Listen, I saw Caesar Black Ink 2 weeks ago, and he had to sleep over his house. He didn't want. And those girls was crazy, and they was like 15. So if they anything like they were, you got to get you some armor. You better go to Walmart, get you some knee pads and a face guard or something. These kids is crazy, girl. You're going to hear
Yeah,
about it
there
today.
you go.
Trust me.
There
We
you go.
got something for you today.
So by next week, I'll give you the updates on how, what got broken, what
Right.
happened.
Hopefully no bones. Right. Got it.
There you go. That's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Doug. We'll be looking forward to this update with these 15 chicaritas going to this party. So, yeah, I just, we about to kick things moving. I just got like maybe one thing or two things to say. First of all, like I told you guys on Saturday, if you were listening, this is the year of saying and doing. So if you're not saying and doing, get on it. Start saying what you want to do and just do it, because doors will open for you and it will happen. Point being clear, and the reason why I said that is because I booked with my band back in February for a one-day gig, and we're now still booked there months later, all the way through July right now, and still adding dates. So because I said and did, boom, look at me now. And I just want to let you guys know we got shows coming up. You guys can look at my Instagram and all that good stuff to find out. But tonight is a big night because I had a showcase on Sunday. If you guys are looking at my Instagram or my Facebook or anything, and it was an R&B showcase, and the top 3 performers got to get their song, get some radio play. And so tonight, as one of the top 3 performers, boom, 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 my song has an opportunity to be played on the radio. So if you look on our social media on Savage, as well as Savage Media Radio, as well as my page, you'll see where you can call in tonight. I think that show starts at 10. You can call in tonight and request Trying So Hard, my single, and have it played on the radio, guys. I would really appreciate it. That's it for me.
Got you.
Awesome.
There you go.
With that being said, let's kick things out with the fuck shit with Troy and Coco. Let's get him. I'm really rocking. You can't see it, I'm doing it. Yes, so today's an important day, guys. If you guys didn't look at my social media, you see my voice change. The passion is different now. If you guys did not look at my social media today, we're talking about a couple things. But the first 2 things we got to get to. But the first thing is this. Kids in rural cities in 2018. Now, I know Carlos mentioned something to me. I live in New York City, and these damn kids are going way too far. They don't respect themselves. They don't respect elders. They don't respect nobody. They probably don't respect their goddamn mama. And enough is enough. I'm not playing. I'm about to go get me a good leather belt that costs good money, and I'm about to start whooping people's kids' ass in these streets, because it makes no sense that they have no self-respect
Don't
for
do
themselves enough to be like, you don't believe I'm gonna do it? Okay, we're gonna see.
Please
Their
don't
mama
do
should beat
that.
their ass. If they need their ass beat, because that's why they acting like that. That I can't, like, being in the street with my daughter who's 19 months, and I'm like, this is what I gotta look forward to. I wish I would catch her standing in the corner or saying these things I hear these kids saying. I'll be her ass in front of all these people. Because back in the day, our mama beat our ass. We didn't play those games. We yes ma'am, no ma'am. We did not disrespect like that. It's crazy. Like they don't even have respect for elders in general. Not just me. I slap them up and don't give a fuck. But the elderly people, I see them arguing with the elderly people.
I feel like we should change the name of this segment to Troy just goes fucking buck, and then I have to calm you down.
Pieces.
That's gonna be the whole title.
After I made that post, I get on the train to take my daughter back to her mom, and these 3 little girls are playing in between the doors, which was very dangerous. One of them can fall and get hurt, do something, anything can happen. And I'm like, I just made a post about this, so I spazzed out on the train. Like, y'all need to stop. Are y'all serious? One of y'all, I really spazzed out. I really did. And the lady looking at me like, you right. I'm like, I know I'm right. This is ridiculous. Enough is enough. Y'all need to stop. I'm really buying the belt.
Okay, Troy, slow down, because I need to really get the whole gist of the confrontation. Start from the beginning. I want to know. We need to know what actually occurred. What did you say? How did you spazzed out? We need the deets.
Deep breaths.
Breathe.
This is a daily thing. On the daily, on the train, on the bus, in the street, anywhere you are in public, these kids are getting crazy. And it's not just an age group, not a specific age, it's guys, girls, young girls, old, like in academies, like, special charter schools. Doesn't even matter what school, not even what school they go to. Every day. So I'm walking past these kids today on the corner, and this guy walked by as I was walking by too, but he was feminine. And this one little girl, they started talking smack about him or saying shit. And then I heard I was ahead of him, but he wasn't close enough for me. And one of the little girls said like fag or said something like that. And so I'm like, if I wasn't already late to go do what I have to do right now, I would have shook that little girl some sense until yesterday. You feel me? Like, this is the problem. It is not okay. It is not okay to say something like that to a grown man. These young kids don't care if you're a grown person. Then they want to go get mad and get their mama and say you did this and that. Then now you fighting with some other bitch you don't even know because of their grown-ass, dirty-ass kids.
So listen,
I'm
Troy,
sick of it.
Didn't me and Phoenix try to calm you down during, like, that one episode of Free Yourself about the same damn thing?
I'm not
like,
playing.
I remember you said that you were upset that these kids were picking on this homeless guy.
They were picking on a guy. No, he wasn't homeless. He was a little slow. He was a little slow.
Oh, the slower guy. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And didn't we tell you there's nothing you can fucking do about it because you know
Oh, yes,
why?
there is.
No, there's stuff you want to do about it.
Oh, there's stuff I'm going to do. Now, I know what I'm going to do. Now, honestly, real talk, no, let me be real. That's what I really want to do. I'm dead ass. I'm really going to buy a belt and whoop their motherfucking ass.
Oh,
but you know what I'm going to do?
This is getting nowhere.
There's one thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it right. I'm going to really, honestly, I'm going to form a forum where we can get youth in one room to figure out what the hell is going on. They need to talk about what's going on so we can get to the bottom of this. Because the reality is beating them ain't going to solve the problem.
Let me pick this apart, Troy. So you want a forum, okay? Now, is this an online forum or a meet somewhere forum?
This is a at a venue live in person in your face.
Okay, so how many people would be at this forum if ideally? I just want to pick this apart real quick. How many people?
Ideally?
Yes.
I don't know, maybe like 30. Local.
Okay. So you truly think that opening the eyes of maybe 5 of these 30 kids is going to change anything? Like, you really think it's going to make anything better? It's going to change the upbringing these kids have. It's going to change their perception of things. Their influencing. Doug, I need to hear this.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to step in here and say one thing. I'm going to tell you a quick story. So 2 guys are on the beach, right? And there's this all of these starfish have come up onto the beach, right? And this one guy, he's picking up the starfish, and there's thousands of them. He's putting them back in the ocean one at a time. And this other guy walks up to him and says, "Why the fuck are you doing that?" He's like, "Come on." He says, "That's not going to make a difference." And the guy picks up the one starfish and he says, "It will for this one." And that's Troy's point. If you can change one kid, that kid can affect other kids. That's the point.
Exactly
my point. Troy, I'm going to go backwards and I'm going to say, did you ever see Death Wish with Charles Bronson?
Nope. Did he kids ass?
Yes, as a matter of fact, he did.
Guys.
But he didn't
Yes.
do it. See, you've already blown your cover because you said you were going to do it on a podcast.
Right?
You had to be more. You had to be more stealth, Troy.
More discreet about
I
it.
said it on my Instagram. No, I ain't being discreet. You don't want listen, I ain't got nothing to hide. That's why I said it on the podcast.
You guys are being
The
way
issue
too
is their
optimistic
parents.
about this.
The issue is their parents. They need to take care of their kids at home, and that's what I said. At the end of the day, the issue is at home. That shows you, as the parent, if your kid is in the street being disrespectful, that shows your parenting skills. So you need to check yourself and
So,
get your
honey,
shit together.
So why are you going after all these children?
Because I'm still going to whoop their ass. That's what they need.
Like, okay, you know what? Fuck shit with Troy and Coco is going to need a new title because this isn't working out. This isn't working out. This is just not working out. I'm just gonna let you get it out.
I love
No, I
it.
got a real topic though. That was
Oh,
really good.
that was not the real topic, really. Troy?
Yeah, that wasn't the real
Really
topic.
now.
No, my real
That
topic
was
is
just
Oh,
the
okay.
catch up.
that was just to let me get it off. I'm
Oh,
not
God,
gonna
That's just
here
the
we
catch
go.
up.
I'm
All right,
ready.
bring the
Anybody's
burger.
kids.
Bring the
I don't
burger.
care.
That was the
No,
catch.
listen
Bring
to
the
the
burger.
real topic is this: is advice givers without the experience. That's the real topic.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I say that is because there's a lot of people that have given advice on shit they never really dealt with or experienced in their life. And how the hell you gonna tell a crackhead stop smoking crack if you've never been a crackhead? So like I'm just sick and tired of people giving people advice about things that they have no clue, because you're guiding someone down the wrong street. So stop giving advice to people if you don't know. If you never experienced it and you don't know what you're really talking about, just say, hey, you know what? I don't know. Let's look it up together. Don't give people advice about shit you don't know.
I agree. I mean, I agree only because I've been steered in the wrong direction from several people who claim that they've gone through what I've gone through, or they have experience in this, or they've seen other people go through things, and they really just want their 2 cents heard. People like to hear themselves talk. So a lot of the times when you come with them with a problem, it's not that they necessarily care or are trying to help you. They want to feel rewarded if it goes right for you, and judging by what they told you to do. Like, that's what they want. They want the reward of saying, yeah, I told you so. I told you that was going to work. That's what they're giving you the advice for. So it's always out of their ass. And I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 times advice is purely out of the asshole of whoever's giving it to you. I'm pretty sure. And
If you want to hear
sometimes,
yourself, if you want to hear yourself that bad, just press the audio recorder on your phone and record
But
it.
we're humans. We want to be rewarded for our bullshit. So I don't think there's nothing you can do about it. But my advice for people is don't ask for advice from people who haven't proven to have gone through what you're going through, or ask an elder who may have gone through way more than you can imagine. I know people that have wisdom. Don't ask like that girl down the street that you talk to about like 5 fucking times. You're gonna ask what you should do about your cheating fucking boyfriend. Like, no,
She probably
that's not
cheating
how
with
it
him.
works.
Don't ask that hoe. Don't ask her. She probably cheating with him.
Exactly. But I do agree with you. But may I ask, like I always do, what made you bring this topic up, sir?
Because there's always shit going through my mind, and I see people giving advice on Facebook and Instagram all the time, like they damn a motivational speaker about shit, and it's just like, first of all, it's probably something your friend went through that they told you about that you didn't really go through. So you trying to tell them something about somebody else's experience. It's not yours. So don't give me advice about something like that, because you ain't been through the fire and overcame it. So it's like telling the blind man he can't walk, can you walk me across the street? Well, he's going based off of what you tell him, because he asked you to help him.
Listen,
so if you on your phone not paying attention, walk him into the street when the light is green, then what? Oops.
Let me rock
You wanna
off
walk
your
it out?
topic for a second. I want to actually talk directly to the people who ask for advice, but don't even make a clear effort to follow it whatsoever. And then are upset when they did the complete fucking opposite and it works out like not in their favor. That's happened to me so many times. I've literally given pep talks, have given my heart out and said, you should do this. I know because I've been through this. I never give advice without knowing about, the situation, without having dealt with it, on my own.
You ain't
I never
looking for
give
no
advice.
award. That's why.
So I will put my heart out there and tell you, do this, this, and that. This is my opinion. I'm not pressuring you, but this is what I think you should do because this worked out for me. And then sure enough, they do the complete fucking opposite, and then they're sitting here crying to me and as if I'm supposed to fucking care. I've had that happen several times. So I'm speaking to you people. I'm speaking to you. Don't fucking ask for shit. Don't ask for somebody to help you or ask for their advice or what should I do and not really want to fucking take it. You just want to hear your fucking self talk. I am talking to you.
Because you're going through, right.
Yes.
You're right. There's
I'm
people out there like
talking to
that. They in their feelings, they're going through it, so they want to talk about it and get everybody's advice. Stop asking her. First of all, work and like friends of group. Stop asking everybody about your personal business. Then you wonder why people talking about you. Everybody needs to know what you're going through because you're going through. Pick one friend, one good one, and leave it at that. Stop telling everybody your damn business. Some of us don't want to know. I don't want to know. You want to know why? Because when you put my name in it, then that means that Troy said this and that at the end of the day. Because that's next thing you know, become the he say, she say. I don't want to be a part of that. What you're going to get from me is one thing. I don't care about people complaining. Get it? Because we all complain. But my next thing to you is when you're done complaining, what's next? Are you ready to stop that thing you was doing before, get out of that situation you was in, or move? Well, you got to be ready because I'm not with that complaining shit. Like, I don't want to hear it if you ain't ready to make a change. Go stand against the wall and cry to your own self until you're ready to make the real change because ain't nobody going to try to hear that crying wolf all the time. I'm sorry. We got some Doug or Carlos before we move on. You guys want to impart anything? I know Carlos has some shit you're going to talk about later with the kids. So maybe you should save that shit for kicking it.
I've just been on my meme game on Facebook.
Oh yes. He's been on his GIF and his meme game.
So when I was in New York, last September, those motherfucking kids were rude as fuck. Like, and then like they were singing. First of all, this goes back to our music. It goes back to how, like, because it's not just the parents that raise the kids. It takes a village, and I've always believed in that. And part of the village is what we give our kids to listen to. So I was on the subway in New York, and I was like, "She little bitch, you can't fly." And I was driving. I was like, I looked, and this girl was like 9 years old, and I was like, "Oh no, oh no!" And then I was walking out of Popeyes, and I heard these little girls. They were harmonizing "The Weeknd" by SZA, and it sounded like they were harmonizing. They were
tell the truth.
Good. Like,
hello.
I ain't gonna hate on their skill. But then she was just like, "My man, it's your." I was like, "No!" Like, once you hear these people, these children saying these words, you're like, "Oh, I think these kids don't understand that. Like, this is just entertainment, and like, it's. I think it's the music. I really do. Just like that girl at the Kendrick Lamar concert yesterday.
Oh, sis.
Like, but it just said,
What happened?
Oh, sis.
Sorry, Doug.
No, you tell him, Carlos.
I love everyone.
You tell him.
But she came up and was like, I forget what Kendrick Lamar song it was. It's one of his new ones, and he does have the word nigga in his music. And she said it. He brought her on stage. You know how they be bringing people on stage to rap with them.
Right.
She was rapping the song, whatever, and she said nigga, and everyone in the concert. And then he like stopped and he was like, you
said it's a white girl, right?
Yes, it's a white girl. Like, but I explained that, yes. But then she was like, should I allow her to stay on the stage? And everyone's like, no, kick her off. I'm like, but bruh, that's literally, and she said it. I'm proud of that little white girl. She was like, It's in your song.
It's all three of your motherfucking song. Listen, Carlos, like, you brought her up knowing that shit was in your song, and you're going to be mad? All through the fucking song. Like what the fuck?
You tell someone in the United States of America they have to censor what they say, especially it's a First Amendment. Like, we have this freedom of speech. So you brought her up. It's in your music. If you don't want to hear it, don't put it in your music, bro. End of story.
I kind of felt bad for her, and I was proud of her. Because she was like, I thought it was cool. I liked the song. I was singing along to the song.
She stood up for her. They tried to make her look like some racist little girl, and she was like, "No, bruh, it's in your song. You said it in the song several times, and I'm just repeating your lyrics." And I was like, "Ooh,
what do you say about that?"
I said, "Throw the whole tree, bitch. You throwing shade? Just throw the whole tree."
Right?
Throw the whole tree, pick it up again, and throw it again. This is good. What did he say back to her?
He let her just
what did he say about that?
The rest of it.
He let her finish the rap.
Because he looked stupid.
But at the end of the day, he should have never said that because he should have thought about that before bringing her up.
Exactly.
You brought her up. All these black kids in the audience, you gonna bring the white girl up? That's your fault.
Troy, listen to.
There were no black kids.
Exactly.
It was in rural Alabama, so actually there were no black.
No
people.
black kids.
There was from what I heard about the story, there was no black people.
Carlos, think about it though. If there were, they would be all the way in the fucking back. You don't want every one of them rap concerts. It's just the white kids in the front section because they're the only ones who can afford those fucking tickets. So I mean, what did he think he was gonna pick? I don't understand what the problem is.
Bring Bobby from the back, in the back row, in the nosebleeds. Bobby back there with the rest.
Right?
I'm sorry.
I think it's our children. I think it's our children. It's not just the parents. It's also the way what we're giving them, the content we're giving them.
Listen,
I think that's what it is.
We've talked about this too many times. The music is a start, is a change. It's a great start of a change to the way things can be. It starts with the music. They know every single song that comes out, all the words to the songs, whether they know what they're singing about, literally what they're singing about, but they know the words. And so that it's words of power. So they, no matter what they're saying, if they don't even know if they'll mean, even if they don't know what they're saying, what they mean, they're still saying it. And when you say it, it has power. So, like you said, what does that say about us? Because it's okay. We need to make change with the music. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't even say no more about the music. I'm not even going there. Because just watch and see. That's all I have to say. One mind at a time. Courtney, I will change one kid at a time. I won't beat them. Because beating them ain't going to change it. But I will have to form.
Yeah, beating doesn't change anything.
Please don't do that. I'm really
No,
begging.
I can't go to jail. I got a kid. I can't go to jail. No, I won't go to jail.
Although I got my ass whooped, and I ended up okay.
Listen, I didn't say anything was wrong with the whooping in regards to your house, because I told you, like, my family didn't play that. Like, I didn't have to get whooped because they was tough. They can look at me and I'd be like, oh, all right.
Wait,
cool,
Troy,
right.
weren't you the advocate for not beating children during my corporal punishment section? Like, weren't you?
Not beating your kid. Not beating my kid. She ain't disrespectful.
True.
And she won't be, because I don't play that. So that's the difference. Now, I'm not beating other people's kids. Go on, beat them. But I don't have to beat my kid, because I know it's all about how you talk to them. You don't have to be like they best friends. That's what people get it twisted. You ain't got to be best friends with your kid. I'm still the boss. Don't get it twisted. But there needs to be an understanding. But I want to understand you as you understand me. I'll let you be free, but to a certain degree.
Makes sense.
That's a good way. That's a good segue to keep things moving. We're gonna move things right over to kicking in with Carlos. Let's go.
I do a little dance.
You too?
I start shaking my non-titties, but no.
Shaking your nipples?
Why were you gonna wait till I start talking to get up here? Sorry guys, I'm talking to my dog. Grayson, he just turned
I
one.
thought it was Uncle Fiki again this time. Yo, that was too funny.
I'm talking to Uncle like that. He might hit you.
Uncle Fiki got picked up by his girlfriend, so he gone for the night.
You got a hot date.
You better come back and give him my $20 because he definitely washed clothes, and I don't play that.
Okay, Hitler, don't play.
No, I'm just playing, guys. No, but I'm not though. But speaking of money, yes, I charge my uncle to live here because shit ain't cheap. My electricity is not cheap. My internet ain't cheap. Nothing's cheap. But I want to talk about creative ways to side hustle. I myself consider myself a king of side hustling. Like, I'm a king of side hustling. Do you guys side hustle?
Yes.
I don't mean like a business.
Yes.
No.
Hell yeah.
No. Yes.
I don't mean like an actual business. I mean off the record, tax-free, cash-only side hustles. What do you do?
Sure do.
You want us to tell it?
Yeah.
I'll pick somebody.
Everybody knows I sell perfume.
I mean, it's legal. Don't be out here being like, I'm playing 8 balls. Like, don't do that.
No.
I'm gonna shut up then.
That I've been pushing. I did it some time ago, and when you start out small, you gotta, you can't just go jumping in and spending all your money. You got to start out small, and so that's what I did. I started out small, and it's on the side, doing what I need to do.
What product is it?
It's perfume and cologne. It's oil based, all natural perfume and cologne.
I did see that on your Instagram. I did see that.
It's all inspired by those same fragrances that you buy in Macy's and Saks Fifth Avenue, Nordstrom, whatever store you want to call it, off the truck, wherever you want to get it from. Inspired by those exact same fragrances, which means it smells the exact same way. So, hey, whatever you need, I got it.
You mean, is that the new way to be like, bitch, this is ripoff?
Yeah, you can't say it's this. It's inspired by.
It's like, y'all getting tricky because you're not legally breaking the law because you said it's not.
Inspired.
You didn't put a fake label. It's inspired. Coco, what do you do?
Me? People always ask me to make stuff for them. So I'm always making decorations. I'm always making backdrops for things. I'm always making just anything. Whenever somebody needs something made, I'm the person to do it, and I just charge, I charge them for the supplies, for the labor, and I kind of, I make some money that way. That's like one of my biggest side hustles. I also do some freelance stuff, like some graphic design for like some people who need a logo, just a whole bunch of creativity. I just love kind of like using my brain and creating things based on other people's visions. So just a bit of everything.
And Doug, you?
I don't have a side hustle, but I do barter with whatever with other people. So if somebody needs
barter is a side hustle though, because you can barter up.
So if somebody needs help with I don't know, graphics or something like that, or a song, I might say, yeah, I'll help you with the song, but come give my kids vocal lessons, that kind of stuff.
That's what, Doug, high five to you on one hand and the other. That's the way we should be doing it. That's how they used to do things back in the day. And that's the reason why we can't come up. We can't help each other out. Listen, that we all got something that we can do. Doug is absolutely on it. Go ahead, Doug.
Yep, and that's like in my community here over in Studio City. There's a lot of entertainment people, so there's a lot of opportunities to barter and trade. There you go. So I guess that would be my side hustle.
That'd be your side hustle. So I actually, if you guys don't know, I don't know how many times I've said this, but I quit my corporate job almost 3 years ago now. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2.5. And I've only been doing hustles to make it by. And I really didn't realize how beneficial my hustles were until I went to Detroit and I had to deal with that for 3 weeks. And I wasn't doing my daily hustles. And our finances dropped by almost thousands in 3 weeks. And I wasn't realizing how much I was making because it's all usually cash. And since it's cash, I don't keep a record of it. I'm just paying bills and doing this and doing that. So I started to look at what was I doing? And everyone's always asking me Carlos, you don't work. How do you make your money? So I decided to take this segment to let you guys know my big secret. I do popular side hustles. So the first one that you can do is get paid for your opinion. So I live in a tech central. So we get paid to test video games, test new apps, test new Snapchat features, because we're Google, Amazon, T-Mobile are located for their headquarters. So if you go on Craigslist in Seattle, you'll actually go under the gigs section. You'll actually find surveys. You can go up to Redmond and to Kirkland, where the headquarters are for those big companies, and you can take surveys. They usually give you either a $100 Visa gift card, or they'll give you cash or some way, or a PayPal, or in some way to pay you. They always find a way, and it's called gratuity. And the reason they call it gratuity is because you don't have to claim it as taxes because it's gifted to you. But you can do several of those in a week and make almost $1,000 in a week just by going and giving your opinion on video games. I've done that a couple times. I actually do that regularly. I do surveys regularly. They make you sign a non-disclosure. And you know what? Google is the shit, because when you walk into a Google building, your cell phone service stops. And you have to go on, it blocks your cell phone service, and you have to go onto their Wi-Fi and sign an NDA to say that you won't, you can't take photos. It has this whole thing. So you can't, because I was I'm on Snapchat to be I'm doing this. Nope, because then they can come after you.
That's dope and scary.
And as soon as you walk out this door, you have your internet back. You have your service back. But once you step foot in that building, your internet does not work. You do have Wi-Fi, but you have to log in and sign an NDA with using their Wi-Fi. So
you can make calls though. You just can't take photos and stuff. Can you make calls, or you can't even make calls?
I didn't try making a call, but you probably can.
You can't even call the police, Carlos. You see? That's how they set you up.
I don't know.
Lock in the building. You can't call the police.
So I'm gonna skip over that because I don't want to. I want to fuck up my money because I did sign NDAs, but you can do that. Number 3, list your room in your house. You can either do it on Craigslist as a roommate if you have, or you can do it on Airbnb. A lot of people don't realize you can Airbnb if you have a backyard. Put up a tent and put some blankets in there with some sleeping bags and rent that bitch out for $25 a night in the summer. Trust me, people will come and book it. And that's $25 times 5 nights. That's $100 and something. I'm not that great at math, but that's money. And I rent out my bedroom in my house, and I make almost $1,500 to $2,000 a month on just my extra room, and my rent's only $1,500. So I'm literally making my rent plus a little bit just by renting out my extra room. Now, it does come with a lot of, you guys watch my Airbnb Chronicles on YouTube, on my channel. There are some crazy shit that happens.
Requirements.
But it also, it's really profitable. So get paid, this one is get paid using your car. So I personally, I signed up for Uber. And then I didn't want to do Uber because I just love my car and I don't want to just put that many miles
that's
on
my
it and
other
stuff.
hustle, Carlos.
Yes,
I forgot to mention.
But
Yes.
Oh,
No, I was gonna
do
say,
you Uber?
I'm gonna do a shameless plug. I'm the bombest fucking Uber driver on the East Coast.
Do you
I
provide like candy and drinks in your
Yes,
car?
bitch. Oh my god,
Oh
gum,
yeah.
candy. They got like I got 4 plugs for every type of fucking phone, even if you got an old fucking blue, what is that? Burberry,
Yes, pop
BlackBerry.
star.
Like I got everything. Everything.
Yes, Coco got everything. So I didn't really want to Uber in my car. So what I did do was Postmates. Postmates is something super easy. If you're not familiar with Postmates, it's literally like Uber Eats, or it's an app where people can order food or like wine or whatever they need. And instead of going out and getting it, they just request me to go get it for them. And Postmates sends you this debit card that you can use to swipe that the people pay into. So you never have to use any of your personal money for anything. And then you just drive and deliver it. And they give you this whole little setup. I love Postmates. That's one of the things I just started. So we're gonna see how that happens. Another one is just going out there and begging. Like my uncle, when he first came here before he got a job, he was coming home with like $80, $90, $100 a day. And I was like, how are you making this money? And he was like, I just went up and talked to people and told them, like, I just came from Detroit. My sister and my niece died, and I'm trying to get a job. Like, he literally just told a story, and people would just hand him 20s. And I was like, okay, well, I can't do that, but that's great. Another thing that people forget that you can do is sell your stock photos. Have you guys like sold your stock photos?
No,
like,
how do you do that?
Oh.
You just literally take great photos, and then you can, a lot of magazines, they have like, people shit on magazines. People sleep on printed advertising. Get magazines, because in there they still have like, hey, we have photo competitions or photo contests. I've won thousands of dollars in magazine photo contests on Popular Magazine or Popular Photography Magazine, and what was the other one? Oliver. I put Oliver in Modern Dog Magazine and won like $1,600 for that photo, and it was just a photo of me and my dog dressed like each other in a cute little outfit. So just like surveys. I'm also an advocate of listening to the radio in the morning time, because I've won, I think in the last 3 months, I won $1,000 on 93.3 in Seattle just by calling in and knowing the phrase word of the day, because I've been listening for 6 hours.
I know people that have done it and won that for real. I've done it once before and won. But I've actually got one more thing to add. If you don't.
Yeah, go ahead. You guys always jump in on my segment.
I recently am now a social influencer, and now I'm gonna be getting free products and money and stuff to promote products and promote products and services. So that's another way to make money. And I'm like, I've always wanted to do it. I always said I want to be, I wonder how these people do this shit. I want to do it too. And people just started hitting me up, and now I got a couple companies that I'm working with.
No, that's so dope. And it's not always about making money, like Doug said. Sometimes it's about bartering. So I'm an avid weed smoker. And I happen to be one of the kind of like the Jared Subway of weed, because everyone has watched that fucking Priest Rabbi Atheist.
Yeah, that's how I know
video.
you, bro.
So literally instead of buying my weed, I'll go to like certain weed shops and be like, hey, I'll be your sponsor. Like when you give me your product, I'll post it. I have a great following on my YouTube and my Instagram, and I will talk about your product, and that's how I get my weed, because I don't pay for it anymore. Instead of getting money from them, they're just getting me product because I'm going to buy it anyways. So it's really like the old school bartering system. Another one is I used to do this last year with my dog brand, sell your handcrafted items. On Etsy, instead of Etsy, I actually developed my own website using Squarespace, and that was way more profitable. I was able to build the business up to the point
What's it called?
My dogs,
the website?
My website was olivergrayson.com, but I shut that down back in January. But when it was on and popping, we built it to the point where we walked to New York Fashion Week in 2017. Like literally, I had like my dogs, and I had models, I had dogs walking in Times Square last September. And after that, actually, this is what happens with me when I make myself goals. I was like, I want to go to New York with this fashion brand. I went to New York and made it. And then I was like, I want to do something else now. So I ended up just shutting it down. But it was an awesome hustle, because before we got to the New York Fashion Week part, it was just me selling handcrafted dog clothes on the street. And then we started going into craft fairs, and then we started going into like carnivals, and then just like places where you could just sell your little goods. And we had a whole little setup, and that was our whole lives last summer, was just selling dog clothes. And I made thousands of dollars selling dog clothes that I handmade. Let's wrap it up. And then I'm going to my last one, and relates to Coco. You can do the old school mowing, like kids. I have a lot of kids followers, which I love. I love my followers and my fans and my supporters, but my content is usually not for kids. But if you're watching, hey, that's on your parents.
Hello.
Just get out there. If you want to get a job, it's summertime. Go mow some lawns. Mow some lawns, rake some leaves, paint some houses.
Yeah.
You literally go on Craigslist, because Craigslist doesn't have an age restriction. And people go on there and say they need their weeds pulled for $70 for a whole yard. Just go on. Like, Craigslist is your best friend when you're in a creative and when you're trying to, and I think we talked about this before, when you're just trying to make a little extra cash on the side. And like, it just like, use whatever you got. You have to use what you got to get what you want.
Come on.
If you're like, really, if you're great at reading, help someone read, teach somebody how to read. If you're great at English, if you're great at speaking, we have a lot of Latinos here who are trying to get jobs, and I'm not really bilingual, but I'm a little bilingual to enough to like, with Google Translate and what I know, we can communicate. And I teach them English, and they pay me like $20 an hour to teach them English. There is a lot of different things that you can do. But what I'm going to end with, one before I end with, is monetizing your YouTube channel. I know I talk about this a lot, guys, but monetizing your YouTube channel is really very, very easy to do. All you have to do is just make content. Get in front of the camera, use your phone. I don't even have a camera yet. I use my phone. Now my phone has really good, it's a nice iPhone, so it does give me good images and good video, but use your camera and just post your shit. A lot of people are like, well, I'm not funny. You don't know who is going to like you. Post
Thanks
it
for that.
and start editing. And even your music, Troy, I tell a lot of people, if you do music, if you do poetry, if you do spoken word, if you do comedy, why aren't you recording this? I know, Troy, you do on live, but why don't you have a camera recording your shows so you can post it on YouTube and then have people start watching your shows and start building a following? That's something that people should take advantage of.
Yeah, I do record them. I just never put them on YouTube, and I feel like listening to you say
Why not?
that. Really, I've always used everything else. I use YouTube for like the major stuff, but lately because I've been so busy, like it's so much shit that I've been doing with this show and putting artists on.
Excuses. You can literally right now.
That's what I'm doing right now already. Relax. I'm already on YouTube putting this stuff up right now. I'm already doing it. Be quiet. I was already doing it when you said YouTube.
Yesterday, I was uploading. I have a series on my YouTube channel called Airbnb Chronicles, which I talk about my Airbnb guests and like the crazy ones and what happens. And like, I come with receipts, so it's really funny. Like, I have videos and photos. It's super funny. But yesterday, I had to go to my audition, and I got up at 4 a.m. I edited it down. And then I posted it, and it was going to take 3 hours to upload. While I was at my shoot making money, my video uploaded to my YouTube, and about the time I got off my shoot, I already had like 300 views. So like, I'm making money while making money. It's about making money on top of what you're doing. So just post it and leave. It's super easy. The last hustle that I want to bring up is the oldest hustle known to man, and that's prostitution.
Ew.
Ow. So that can come in many ways, or I don't want to call it prostitution. I call it sex work because I'm in Seattle, and I will get like hung by the stake if you say prostitution here because it's so politically correct. So sex work is something that can range from the porn industry to, video cam girl or cam boy, to literal on the street John work. So that's the oldest industry. And that's something that like a lot of people look down on, but Cardi B kind of was. Would you consider Cardi B a sex worker?
Mm-hmm.
I consider her a sex worker.
Everybody's saying mighty quiet.
She sold sex. She didn't sell bonbons and ho-hos. She sold sex. Right? Am I wrong?
She did. She sold sex.
No. And selling sex doesn't mean literally selling your vagina, but selling sex is selling the idea of sex or selling your body as far as imagery. Is even if you're in porn, like I get a lot of, actually it's very weird since my YouTube fame, I've gotten a lot of like razzle dazzle and like these porn sites are like, hey, would you mind? I was like, hell no, bitch. I'm not that desperate for money, but if I ever do, let me keep you in my Rolodex.
Shut up.
Let me get the number just in case.
I'm gonna put you. Yeah, I'll talk to you some other time. Maybe never, but you know.
you know. But no, I just wanted to talk about this segment and just to say, like, don't give up. Like, if you really want to live your dream, it's possible. Like, in the world that we are, especially with our technology, there are literally a limitless way to make money. It's limitless. Like, you can make money. It's out here. It's out here. All you have to do is hustle. But I'm going to end with that. Do you guys have any last comments on hustling?
Hustle. No, I'm saying.
Every day we hustle.
Every. Yeah. You know what time it is? It's time for our Savage announcements, you know? I don't know what voice that was. Don't pay attention to that. All right, guys. Calling all movie lovers. We're looking for our listeners to interact with us on our newest show, which premiered this past Monday, called The Worst of the Worst. This is an interactive podcast centered around watching some of the worst movies ever created and giving our funniest, most raw, and explicit reviews in true Savage fashion. If you're interested in participating, comment in any of our social media, send us a message, a smoke signal, anything letting us know so we can get you guys involved in what we're doing because it's so much fun. If you're an artist out there and you want to get your music heard and still listening with Doug, please send us an email at savageonair@gmail.com. We love to have your music featured. You know, I'm an artist myself, as well as I put artists on to do some of the open mics and stuff that I do. So we love to interact with artists. So if you're an artist and you're out there and you're listening, please send your music again once again to Savage Media Radio on air at gmail.com. Last but not least, if you're listening, be sure to follow us right here on Spreaker. Follow us help us determine if our content is connecting with our listeners as well as it helps us to get chosen for various distribution platforms and sponsors. Please remember to like, share, and follow. All right, guys, you know what time it is. We're going to kick things over to our girl, Coco. Let's go.
God, you guys don't understand how much I hate that theme music. I need to change that. Let's be 100% honest with ourselves.
That was like that beat's kind of like one of those 80s movies that I keep
Right?
bringing up.
Yeah, no. Right. We can't have that, though, Doug. We can't have that.
That was like
That's what an 80 movie.
It's like 48 Hours. Remember the movie 48 Hours? That was like that one.
I'm not feeling it. But anyway, guys, real quick, I just want to shout out to Crystal in the chat. Crystal, hey, girl. She's listening. Ooh, she's hitting us up in the chat. We always appreciate you. It's home, girl.
Guys, this girl right here, I love you, Crystal. Let me tell you what happened was. I've been talking a lot of shit about her, about the podcast. Like, yo, I get all my shit from her. Her and my other coworker, Sade, those two, they don't give a fuck. They're very raw, for real. And so one day I get a text, and someone texts me, like, oh, I'm listening to your podcast. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Great job, right? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but okay. So I go to work the next day. Crystal's like, Troy, I was listening to your podcast last night. That was me. What up, Crystal? Shout out to you, girl. I just had to tell the story. Crystal, shout out to you.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate her. We appreciate you. Anybody in the chat, if you're there, please let us know. We'll shout you out. But I want to piggyback off of Carlos's topic because today we're talking about the Jezebel, the call girl, the fancy woman, or the harlot, whatever you call it. It is simply a prostitute. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I read an article that kind of brought a lot of things to my attention. So lawmakers are actually kind of bringing up the discussion of maybe making prostitution legal. Now, I don't know if this is widespread, but I know in New Jersey, we have a new governor, Phil Murphy, who's absolutely amazing. You guys need to look him up. He's a phenomenal man. Definitely putting out a lot of bills for a lot of good things that we need here in the state. But he is actually kind of in talks about maybe allowing that in our state. I know he's a little bit low-key about it because he's brand new. He's trying to get acclimated and trying to not step on too many toes. But I know that it's definitely been in talks in New Jersey. So basically, it would be regulated, it would be taxed, and it really has been something that's been a little bit more popular in Atlantic City, where the casinos are in New Jersey. It's actually been a little bit more, I guess, lenient in that part of our state. You see call girls everywhere in Atlantic City. It's kind of crazy. It's almost like it's legal. So I think that they're thinking, one, it may kind of aid to the epidemic of just trafficking, sex trafficking. It may aid to that, or it may take it away. It may make it as if it's not as prevalent. I don't know where they're going with it, like moral wise, but they're really in talks. And I was just like, this is crazy. I gotta let the world know this shit. So I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself because it is long and drawn out, and I need to see where you guys stand first. So I want to ask you, Troy. I want to know what if prostitution became legal in New York City. Do you think that it would be a pro, a con, why on both sides, and also is it something that morally you stand for or stand against? So I want to know from your opinion first.
First of all, I don't agree with selling your body at all. I feel like that there's so many things that you can do in life to make money or do that you don't have to sell your body. This like each and every one of us are created with our own talents and individuality.
Mm-hmm.
So individual uniqueness is pretty much what I'm trying to say. So I don't agree with it. Like to each his own. You know, people are gonna do what they want to do. I just think the reason why I said it'll be a pro is because New York City can tax it, or they're gonna get their money. So now, now people are just gonna be doing things out in the open. Next thing you know, it's gonna be like Amsterdam. They're gonna have red windows on 42nd Street. Then it's gonna be go down this block, red light special windows, and you're gonna be able to go down the street, around the corner, and be able to see it all out in the street and be crazy. Like this, at the end of the day. If it's already starting in New Jersey, it's not going to stop. Anywhere they can tax it, that's why they're making weed legal, so they can tax it. They don't care. Now they're like, people are going to do these things, and let's get money. Let's get money now. Everybody wants to get money? Let's get money. So the government wants the money. That's all they care about. So nothing we can do is say it's going to change that unless we get together enough people to sign a petition. I don't know. If people, but you never know. People might want to get involved. They might say, hey, I'm tired of being who I am. I want to be a thotty and get my body done and be lit. So, hey, I feel like it's going to start a whole new war of other shit now with all these video vixen wannabes out here.
I got you. All right, Doug, what about you? If it became legal in California, rampant or regulated, would you be completely against it, or what's your opinion about that topic?
I don't know if I would be against it, but I just don't, because it's already happening.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, you know, it's like all of a sudden for me to be like, oh, I'm against this. It's like, what are you talking about? Like that's already out there. It's already going on. So then the next question is, would there be any benefit to, like, you know, you're bringing up an interesting point now, because then I'm asking, well, what's the motivation? Is the motivation to make more taxes?
Yep.
And if the motivation is to make more taxes, you know, that starts to kind of rub me the wrong way, because, you know, I don't know if, I mean, I can understand people doing their own thing, but would I want a new park built because
on prostitution taxes?
Yeah,
I get you.
It kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like, I would think that there's other ways for, again, you know, wow, boy, there's other ways to make money, but trying to shake down prostitutes through taxes and like, oh well, it just seems really kind of shitty. I don't know what I know Las Vegas has that.
Doug, I was going to say Las Vegas does have like a sex tax, and it provides books for children.
Yeah.
Right. So Carlos, you're bringing up a great point, and that is, if, let's say, all of that money was going to go to fund Planned Parenthood or something like that, I might be a little bit more on board. But the way our system is set up right now, money goes to, you know, the tax person, you know, pulls the lever, and the money goes toward the tax person, and then you never know what becomes of it. So, boy, I would want a lot more information on that one. I think it's already going on right now, so morally, I can't take any moral high ground on that. That's already happening. But taking money from other people for that, I need a lot of convincing.
Got you. Completely understand. What about you, Carlos? Because I know you've been very verbal. Even online, I posed this topic with my Facebook crowd, and you had some points that you hit on. So what's your take on this whole thing?
First of all, prostitution, sex work is the oldest industry known to man.
Yep.
It's actually literally the oldest industry that was making money and that was taxed known to man. So and then second of all, it just goes back to human rights. Who are we as a society to tell somebody what they can and can't do with their body? Like, you can't tell me if I want to sell my dick, I'm selling my dick. Like, I don't think that's your choice, you know?
Right.
Now, with that being said, I do support taxing. I like just like marijuana, I'm a huge supporter of just making all drugs legal. Like, if I can go and get an 8-ball and you're going to tax me 80%, if I have the money to do it, I have the money to do it. It's my consequences that I have to deal with. I think as a society, we try to regulate people. Humans are humans. Like, I literally just had this conversation the other day. I was at the park and I was like, who owns this? If you really just look at the world and be like, who owns this? And no one does. No one owns the world and no one owns you. So you can't tell someone what they can and can't do with their body. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I think the best thing to do is just like a lot of states have done with marijuana, is just give up the fight. You're fighting something that won't ever stop. You know? And instead of trying to fight something, how about we actually tax these people and make some money for our children and make some money for our communities? That way we can have a better community. And with progress comes just like more completion. Like, I think once we start with sex work, maybe racism will get better. Maybe like every isms will get better. People will just start accepting people and just not trying to regulate them.
No, that makes sense.
Right. You know,
Coco,
real quick. Carlos, you bring up a really interesting point. And so, Courtney, I'm going to ask you this. Do the people that are already sex workers want this?
You know, it's funny. That question was posed in a documentary. And I think, honestly, it's split down the middle, because some of them look at it as, great, now I don't got to work for a pimp. Now it's regulated. Now I can work for myself, make legitimate money off of this. I don't need this whole, lowballing under the table bullshit. I don't have to worry about having my life at risk. That's one side of it. The other side of it is, I don't want anyone in my money. I don't, the ones that aren't working for a pimp, the ones that are working on their own, they're like, I don't want anyone in my bag. I want to be able to have this all to myself, under the table, not regulated. And I want to also, I think it's more of the thrill and the sin of it being illegal that draws a lot of people to that profession. And I think that's kind of like where that side of it's going. It's very well split down the middle. It's kind of crazy.
I'm going to go in the other direction and say, look, if the state of New Jersey needs some more money, or America needs some more money, why the fuck did we just sign off on that tax bill allowing multi-billionaires to benefit on the coattails of people that are making $30,000 or less? So it's like our structure, I understand that some people, that's somebody's profession. Let's think of it like, let's look at it like you want to be a window washer, and that's what you do. Okay, great. That's cool. You're a window washer. Now, there's probably two different kinds of window washers. There's somebody that's like Bob's window washer, and he's got a license, and he pays insurance, and da-da-da-da. And then there's, Mike's window washing, and Mike's on the hustle.
No, say the truth, Doug. Speak the truth. You know you wanted to say horse.
Tyrone.
Yeah. No. I love it. Hey, man,
y'all are a mess.
I got my own ideas. But I guess what I'm getting at is, if the issue is money, why would you give away so much money to the mega 1% billionaires? Like, that's the part that's like, if money's the issue, boy, this is a funky way to be going about getting it.
And I believe it. It's kind of crazy because surprisingly, I can agree with a lot of points that you all have made. I know with Troy, I do feel that there's other ways. There's always another way. And I do understand that. There's other ways to utilize your skills, utilize your talents, utilize your creativity to make money other than that. Because coming from my point, I think prostitution would be the last on my list. I would have to be at my wit's end and have no other option to do something like that. That's not even a possibility in my life. But
I gave like that whole list, so like that's why I said I think our topics were kind of similar, because
I gave a whole list of legal things you could do. You know.
No, I got
So
you.
Right.
and this is something that like you can't really do, but a lot of people do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? This I'm gonna tell you a very quick story.
Mhm.
In my travels, one day I met this gal, and I met this girl, and she and I started talking, and she said to me, I'm like, "Where are you going?" And she was on her way. She was on her way to. I met her through friends, and she was on her way to the Playboy office. Okay,
Okay.
like the actual Playboy office over in
Oh,
Los
wow.
Angeles. Cool. And she and I started talking. I'm like, "Well, what do you do?" And she's like, "I'm the library girl." I'm like, "What's the library girl?" And so, do you remember maybe about 4 years ago, where a girl up in northern, I think she was either from Oregon or from Washington,
Mhm.
and she was on the school campus, college campus, and she exposed herself, right?
Mhm.
Because she was like a webcam girl.
Uh-huh. I
Right?
think I
She's a-
know exactly
she-
what you're talking about.
Right. And she got in a ton of trouble for that because she was on public property and at the university. And so I had asked her, well, I don't understand. How did you get into that world? And she said, well, in the small town where she grew up, there really weren't any jobs.
Any
It was like,
opportunities.
right. There was like Taco Bell, and there was like maybe working at Walmart or whatever. And she's like, one of my girlfriends had asked me if I wanted to get into webcamming. And she's like, oh, what's that? And it's like, it is boom, boom, boom. So it's interesting that sometimes opportunity, and I'm not saying, maybe for you, Courtney, you're on the fence because you're thinking like, fuck, that would be the last thing I would do, but for me, I can completely understand how somebody that needed to make money and wanted to make money from their bedroom, from their house, could become a webcam person.
And you know
I
what,
totally
Doug?
understand that.
I'm more on the side of you and Carlos because I don't see a problem with it. I personally wouldn't do it, but I feel like it is your body. You should be able to do
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you want. You can sell whatever you want of yours is yours, and you have a right to sell it. You have a right to make money off of. God gave you something that if people want it, you have a right to sell it, and that's pretty much my feeling for it. I don't see a problem with it. I think, people like you said, Doug, they've been doing it forever anyway. What is the difference? So
Right.
I completely understand. I just want it to be regulated. I want to. My standpoint is that as long as it's regulated where, no, it's not like Amsterdam, where you can it's a whole bunch of red lights and bitches just dancing and feeling themselves in front of apartment windows. I don't want that. I want it to be like where there's like a bunny ranch, like in Las Vegas. There's a place you
Yep.
can go. They line up. The bitches line up, and you say, "Hey, I want her." You take her. You go in the room, and you do what you gotta do. They get their couple dough. You walk out happy. I don't see what the issue is. I never saw that there was a problem, but I do think there should be a regulation. I do think the money shouldn't go to anything related to children morally. That just kind of like you said, Doug, rubs me the wrong way. I don't think that's a good way to go about it. But if the money does go towards Planned Parenthood, or even, anything like a tax relief of some sort, because I know in our state
Right.
of New Jersey, we need a hell a lot of tax relief when it comes to property taxes,
Right.
just anything. So if it went to that I would be all for. So I don't see any problem with it. What were you going to say, Doug?
I was going to say also, it makes me want to step back and say, what drives somebody to doing that? And is it because they really they don't mind and they get pleasure from it?
Yeah.
Or is it through desperation? And the idea that, let's say, a certain contingency of the people get into that business, not because it's the greatest business in the world, but just through kind of being pushed into that. Wow. We really need to create way more opportunities
Yes.
in America and in the
Yes.
world than prostitution being a viable road. That's really makes me scratch my head. That makes me scratch my head.
And I totally
do.
agree.
I understand there are people that
That's
are
what
going to
I
go. Yeah, I understand there are people that are going to go into that, and that's their vocation, like a window washer or something like that. I get it, and I respect that. But man, there needs to be way more opportunity, because I'm not sure that I'm gonna green light sex work as like the
A viable way of
career,
making money.
a viable career path. hey, if you get into that spot and you're okay with it, cool. But we need doctors and we need lawyers and we need other opportunities too. It's one of those things where in the same context that you're saying that, I think about Jeff Bezos, the guy from Amazon, not paying any taxes.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yep.
I think about that guy, like, the people that work for him, they're on food stamps. Mm-hmm. And so what's the deal? Is the deal because we need to regulate it to make it for a safety, a health concern?
You know what, Doug?
Okay.
In a perfect world, you know what I'm thinking? In a perfect world, they could legalize prostitution and use that tax money to make it to ease debt, like student loan debt, or make it make college more affordable. That way people can get into these fields and can get access to education, so they can better themselves. So in a perfect world, that would probably be a good solution, but that's not going to happen. But I do agree with you in that.
Geographically where I am, and this is the last thing, because I don't want to go. I could talk for a long time about this, but geographically from where I live in LA and Las Vegas, everybody drives down the 15 freeway, or there's the local Burbank Airport. And when I go to the airport or when I'm on the 15, I see the people that are racing to Vegas, and believe me, there's all kinds of girls that are college girls at UCLA or USC or whatever it is, and they're racing to Vegas to get their hustle on to make money, and then they race back. And so it's there's like you can tell when it's a girl that works as a dancer or a stripper or whatever, because it's like, super simple car, backpack, girl blazing down the 15 all on her own, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess she's gonna get her hustle on in the strip club, and it's like. Yep. There you go. And I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying that that's bad, but boy, it'd be great if there were other opportunities, if that wasn't just the only one.
It's very divided. But before I wrap it up, I do want to get to some comments. Crystal in the chat, she says, yes, if it was discreet, which I agree with. Like I said, make it a Bunny Ranch style type of deal. Make it where it's in closed doors. It's not in the open. You can do it. You have to have either an establishment or hotel or something like that, where it's not where everyone can see, everyone has access to it. I do agree with that. I have a couple of I posted this up on Facebook, and I have a couple of interesting comments. Sadiqa, she actually said on my page, her name is Sadiqa, and her comment was, I worry about how people will use this, but I am also for allowing people to have sex for money without them being fined or jailed if it's in their own free will, which I agree. Both people have to be consenting, and I don't see an issue. I really don't. And then we have probably my favorite comment of them all was from Jennifer. She goes, yes, legalize that shit. Make it so that underage girls cannot be kidnapped and abused and pimped out. Make it so women who are in danger can go to the police without fear of being arrested. Weed out the bad men who are out there to hurt women and leave the guys who just want a little sex alone. Regulate it, tax it, whatever, but use this to fight back the sex slave trade. Rant over for now. I loved it. She literally hit on every point.
There you go. I love it. That was a great point. Here it's interesting because like here, and Carlos, maybe you can weigh in on this one too. You would agree that like dispensaries and places where you can buy marijuana, that's pretty regulated, and it's very, very pro. There's no longer somebody selling weed out of the back of their car. I know here in California, in Los Angeles, those shops they're not allowed to be on certain certain walkways. They're even now. There's also a thing where they weren't allowing them to manufacture edibles that looked like candy.
Yep.
Because it
can get into the wrong hands.
Yes. So maybe some good can come out of that by regulating it. Maybe some good can come out of it by regulating it.
Now, two opposing points real quick before I pass it over. We have Christian who said prostitution shouldn't be legalized. If anything, put the pimps out of their misery, including the human trafficking asshats. So that's an opposing view, of course.
Okay.
And then we also have another one from Kevin. Goes, legal or not, it presents a huge problem in ways that will eventually cause havoc to our people. A lot of people don't disclose now that they are carrying STDs like HIV, etc. To make it legal will only allow some delusional people to think that they are having safe sex. And then we are back to the 70s when it was at an all-time high, but at its worst time, which I agree to. That is a very good point that they make. Again, has to do with regulation. There has to be some kind of, some kind of way where it's not just everyone running rampant with all these, if there's a bunny ranch, I'm going to keep saying bunny ranch, guys. That way you can regulate the girls, the guys, know if they're being tested, make sure they're tested regularly. That is something that can definitely aid to the whole situation. But that is my topic for today. I'm glad that I stirred up the pot and that everybody had so many opposing views. Be sure to catch me next time. I'm going to have some great topics for next week. But for now, I'm going to pass it over to Still Listening with Doug.
Hey everybody, welcome to I'm Still Listening. I'm your host Doug Carrion, and in this segment I'm going to be highlighting the coolest independent hip-hop, indie rock, and electronic music now available on SoundCloud. Check it out.
All right, what's happening everybody? Mr. Doug Carrion from Los Angeles, California. How are you? We're going to listen to two really great tracks. This is the first time I'm going to double hit on one artist. So the artist is a guy from Florida named Ski Mask the Slump God. Okay, so both songs are from the same guy. The first one is, which I love the title. Title's Like a Soccer Mom, which is great.
Love it.
If it's super great. This is definitely not a song for bunny ears. So if you have little ones, you got to run them out of the room right now. If you like the song, SoundCloud.com, Ricky Bobby Slump God. That's how you can find it. Again, SoundCloud.com, Ricky Bobby Slump God. Sounds like this.
We are very much in the mood for what you really are. Hey, pull a drop top minivan with the fuck. Candy paint wet, hubba bubble gum. Seats with the sheep, fur, peach fuzz, big it in. When I whip it back, Joe Lee, hey, look. Pull a drop top minivan with it, look. Candy paint wet, hubba hubba hum. Seats with the sheep, fur, peach fuzz. When I whip it back, Joe Lee, back. Hey, why my roof look like a T-Rex, I'm it. My minivan got the jiggly puff in it. Why my roof look like a T-Rex, I'm it. My minivan got the jiggly puff in it. Pull a drop top minivan with the fuck. Candy paint wet, hubba bubble gum. Seats with the sheep, fur, peach fuzz. When I whip it back, Joe Lee, back. Hey, heard from a bird that got lit. Hold on, drop this shit. This is shout out to a 776 kiss shit. Hey, Tiffany on the diamond connectors, my precious like Lord of the Rings. Bad man new to the thing, who boy in the cream ride for okay. I never care about the car, only care about her mouth and relax me like I'm a state. Mikasa, you know it's Sukasa, is the intel that I shit with your today. They gon' think keep out the laxative, or need some pull-ups, so I am the shit today. My diamond wet like some Gatorade, it is the same percent water that's Powerade. Swag on my back like a backpack, need a paper towel, spill sauce on my cream rack. Ringworm pockets, how to get fat, and I'm being honest, kinda wanna fuck cat sex. Dirty with the dick, got the minivan, blast or wrist like a mega fella man. Fantastic foe, I'm the human torch, slaps with a minivan, Oprah color Gucci band. Whip it, wrist built like a GoPro, this good burger cookie beef slow. Chino unit like a nigga Tony Yayo, every girl I send my music fake go. Lego, my dick no egg go. Foreign money colors on lake goes. Flow on float when the bake go. She need milk like I mixed the whole. Ayy, pull up drop top minivan, what the fuck? Candy paint wet, hubba bubble gum. Seats with the sheep fur, peach fuzz. When I whip it fat, Joe lean back stump, pull up drop top minivan, what the fuck? Candy paint wet, hubba bubble gum. Seats with the sheep fur, peach fuzz. When I whip it fat, Joe lean back stump. Like why my roof look like a T-Rex done bit it? My minivan got the jiggly puff linen. Why my roof look like a T-Rex done bit it? My minivan got the jiggly puff linen. Pull a drop top minivan, what the fuck? Candy paint wet, hubba bubble gum. Seats with the sheep fur, peach fuzz. When I whip it fat, Joe lean back stump.
Wow. At one point, did he say, let go of my ego or grab my ego or something like that? It's pretty good.
I was studying the lyrics.
That was pretty good. I hope you caught all that. All right. So song number 2, same artist, Ski Mask the Slump God from Florida. He's from Broward County. This one is called Laffy Taffy. SoundCloud.com/Ricky-Bobby Slump God. Listen, there's a funny hook in there. I want you to listen and we'll talk about it at the end. Play that thing.
on my dick when she suck on my dick, sound like pop from the top of a Snapple. Bitch, your survey tacky, your kneecaps be ashy, some lotion and what you should track it. Track on your head, sound like bite from a nipple while I be fly like pterodactyl. I'm in that bitch and I'm all in the buns like I started off as a damn cattle. Okay, pussy with a little battle. Get long like needle in Seattle. Top rope, elbow. How I hit the pussy arcade, oh, radio, the chokehold. Backwards, red rum. Come on, diamonds throwing temperature. Yo, tell your mother, I'm name Chris L. Tucker. It'll be rude if you don't show that pussy to the crew. It'll be rude if you don't show that pussy to the crew. It'll be rude if you don't show that pussy to the crew. It'll be rude if you don't show that pussy. And that pussy, I'm raw and lean, raw with it, raw with it, raw with it. If I said to get it, then I get it. If I said I'm with it, then I'm with it. Bitch, I'm in the old screaming free S. If a nigga said it, then I'm in it. When I read it up, I need a minute. Minivan, jiggy pump, finish. Rack up on me like a pussy tuggers, and I put this on the goggles, and they feel me like a chemist. Okay, like that to the top, sticking to it like a to the top. Whip, clear the block like Captain Wheels on the Glock. Captain Spock, handsome moves, washing up the crotch. Water by you like a bayou, bezels on my watch. It'll be rude if you don't show that pussy to the crew. It'll be rude if you don't show that pussy to the crew. It'll be rude if you don't show that pussy to the crew. It'll be rude if you don't show that pussy. Lean that pussy down. Raw and lean, raw with it, raw with it, bitch, raw with it. Hey.
Okay. So, Courtney, did you catch the tagline? It'd be rude. Did you catch the tagline?
I was trying to. I don't
Was
know
he
if
on
I
Lean?
caught it right.
Troy, did you catch the tagline?
Was he on lean when that I was trying? Maybe it's the way I was listening to it. I was just.
It said, it would be rude if you don't show that pussy to the crew.
Oh, I like it actually. I'm not gonna lie.
That is so funny. Come on.
That's
one
actually-
of the funniest ones.
That's pretty dope.
He must be
I'm not
hanging
gonna
out
lie.
with Trump. He must be hanging out with Trump.
You're terrible.
Anyway, that's all I got. I thought that was a funny line. That was a funny line.
I know that song though, but I've listened to it for years. And
No,
I
you're
didn't
talking about
know that's
Laffy
what his name
Taffy,
was.
the other song. It's the music in the background. Girl, shake that Laffy Taffy. That song.
Right.
It's the music
Right.
in the background.
Right, so he's
Wait.
just rapping over it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a different song.
It's a completely different song. Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah, it's
all
a
I could hear
remix.
was all I heard was Laffy Taffy. I couldn't hear nothing he was saying. He sounded like he was on lean while he was talking. It was like, did you have something in your mouth? I didn't get it. I really
Troy,
get it.
you act like you're
Yeah.
not on lean every time you're on free yourself. So don't
Not
even
on lean,
start.
baby. Definitely not on lean. I ain't never seen no lean in my life. I'm just scared once I lean, I ain't gonna get back up. Okay? No, I'm not doing that. No, you can keep that shit. I'll stick with what I know, baby.
You're so stupid. I can't.
No leaning for me. Mm-mm.
Well, at least now we know. Now we're enlightened. Thank you for enlightening us, Doug. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one.
That was great. Troy, you want to take us out?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Free Yourself. Well, it wasn't Free Yourself. That was Wednesday night. Listen, I got caught up because that's got me sidetracked right now. Anyway, it's Wednesday night, y'all. We closing out. It's the crew. And this is what we do. I love these guys, yo. I love these guys. Like, hey, this is what we do. This is raw. Like, we're not trying
raw,
to be cute.
it's
You know, it's raw. It's live. This is what it is, y'all. It's Wednesday night with the crew. Savage Media Radio, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to everyone that was in the chat room. Especially shout out to you guys that tuned into who were on Facebook and gave those comments to Courtney. I think we should do more of that interaction.
Yeah,
it was so dope.
me too.
Hopefully you guys listened in so you heard yourself being featured today. And shout out to the chat room and Crystal, my cousin Daquan's always there, so you know I'm all fucked up. Crystal, my coworker.
Hey,
Shout out to you,
girl.
Crystal. I appreciate you, girl. I'm trying to get a shift tomorrow. Put the word up. You know somebody that can help me out with that. Also, guys, like I told you guys earlier when we opened up, I have my song's going to be played on the radio tonight. So please, he said you can't call in until 10. So at 10 o'clock, call in, listen in. I was going to tell you guys exactly what the number is in case you guys don't have time to go online and look it up and do all that. If you got a pencil real fast, you could just write this real down. The number is 646-867-7220. 646-867-7220. Call in around 10 p.m. Trying so hard as I am my single, you know. I don't know. I've never been on the radio before. This is interesting. So I'm excited to see what can come of this. And this is what we do, y'all. We love each other. We love you. This is Savage this is getting bigger and bigger, guys. If you pay attention to the topics that we're talking about and the things we're saying, and this is in the almost about to be 6 months we've been doing this, guys. This has been some real shit. And so
this is about the time that I'm gonna introduce you to my parents.
Oh my! All right. Oh, we're going to the house, baby.
See, I'm coming to the barbecue.
Yes.
You're coming to the barbecue, dog. Oh my gosh, this is real. This is real life. This is real life, guys. This is family. We are family. You are a family. Please listen in each and every week. If you're listening not live, but you're listening after the live, we love you guys too. Try to tune in live so we can get you guys in on the comments. Let us know what's up. We want to hear from you guys, really. If you like what's going on, we make changes every now and again. We keep it fresh, keep it new. You never know what to expect sometimes. And we like that. So, and it's based on you guys' opinion and what you guys tell us. So get involved. Go on Spreaker.com and don't just listen to it, but actually sign in and say something and get involved so we can get some sponsors. Woo, woo. 6 months in, baby. We can go to the table now. But like, hey, y'all, we've been doing this 6 months now. Give us, give us some love. So we're trying to, as we bring this 6 months, guys, help us get these Patreons up. Spreaker.com, follow us, all that good shit. And until next week, we do what we always do. Stay savage.